You are 8 years old, standing on a stage that smells of dust and plastic flowers. The school hall is too bright, rows of parents shifting in their seats, the air buzzing with whispers. You hold a crumpled paper with your little speech about success that the teacher helped you write. Your heart hammers hard enough to hurt, but you see your parents in the second row, phones raised, and something in you sharpens. You pull your shoulders back, open your mouth, and perform. Words you barely understand roll out of you. You just have to believe in yourself, and you can do anything. The sentence hangs in the air, bigger than you are. A few parents nod like it's profound. Your teacher smiles too wide, hands coming together first, and then the room joins. The applause hits you like warm light. Your cheeks burn, but it feels good. For a moment, you are not just a child. You are someone people listen to. On the ride home, your dad pats your knee. You speak so confidently. You could be a leader one day. The phrase sinks into your chest and lodges there, sweet and heavy. Leader, confident. Someone who stands in front and tells people how to live. Your stomach flutters. You imagine a future you cannot name, just a vague picture. You on a bigger stage, people sitting below you, drinking in your words. At home, your mother posts the video online, typing a caption about how wise you are for your age. Comments appear fast. She's like a little coach, so inspiring. You read each line with a strange mixture of pride and pressure. Your body feels small, but your image is suddenly big. That image starts to matter more than the messy reality of you tripping over your words and needing help with homework. In the evenings, when the house is quiet, you replay the applause in your head. It becomes a kind of lullaby and a kind of craving. Ordinary moments feel thin compared to that rush. You draw pictures of yourself with a microphone, crowds in front of you. You don't know what you would actually say, but you know it should sound important. When you bring home an average grade later, the room feels different. No applause, no spotlight, just a brief look and a quick, try harder next time. Your chest tightens. You begin to notice how the world lights up for performance and dims for everything else. Somewhere deep, a rule begins to form. If you want love, you must impress. If you want to be safe, you must have something to teach. You start talking like a mini adult in class, giving advice to classmates, repeating phrases you've heard from teachers and your parents. They laugh and call you little coach again. It feels like a costume that fits too loosely, but you keep wearing it. The quiet, unsure parts of you, the ones that want to ask for help or admit confusion, slowly step back from the stage and hide in the wings. A gap opens between who you are and who you perform as, so thin you can't see it yet. You only feel it as a small, persistent tension in your chest whenever someone says, "You're so wise," and you know you're still just a kid who is afraid of the dark. You are 16, lying on your bed in a dark room lit only by your phone screen. Videos autoplay one after another. Charismatic faces, perfect lighting. Thumbnails promising 5 habits that will change your life, and the mindset shift that separates winners from losers. You watch them like other people watch movies. Their voices wrap around you, confident, smooth, never hesitating. Your own life feels like a blur of homework, social anxiety, and the constant hum of not being enough. The gurus on your screen seem to exist on a higher level, where every setback is a lesson and every failure a stepping stone. You start copying their phrases in a notebook. Raise your standards. No excuses. You're the only one standing in your way. The words fill pages, neat handwriting framing borrowed certainty. At school, you feel small. In group work, you defer to louder classmates. In your head, you imagine what your favorite coach would do. Speak clearly, stand tall, never show doubt. Sometimes you try to impersonate them in tiny moments, fixing your posture when you're present in class, adding a dramatic pause before a sentence. When the teacher compliments your confidence, your stomach flips. For a second, you feel like you are channeling those people online, not living your own life. Lonely evenings stretch out, and you fill them with self-help playlists. You learn about morning routines, winning mindsets, and high-value habits. Your reality doesn't match any of it. Your mornings are rushed, your thoughts messy, your emotions heavy. The more you watch, the more you feel like you're failing at a game you didn't know you were playing. The idea forms quietly at first. One day, you will be like them. You will get out of this confusion, fix yourself, and then teach others so they never have to feel this way. You don't know what fixing yourself means exactly, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the fantasy of standing on the other side of the screen, finally being the one who knows. You start giving advice to friends, little pre-packaged insights from your latest video binge. You just need to set clear goals. It's all about your mindset. You see their eyes glaze sometimes, feel how your words don't really land. But occasionally someone nods and says, "You're right." That's enough to keep you going. Enough to keep building this image of yourself as a future guide. In the mirror, you try to see it. Not the teenager with dark circles and bitten lips, but the future mentor with sharp jawline and firm voice. It feels ridiculous and intoxicating at the same time. You don't realize yet that the more you chase this fantasy, the further you drift from the quiet, ordinary truth of who you are. Every new guru video promises the missing piece, the final formula. You never find it, but you collect their lines like charms. You fall asleep with the phone next to your pillow. The last words you hear before drifting off, belonging to someone else, telling you how to live. You are 22, sitting in a cheap cafe with a laptop that overheats and a head full of bullet journals. The last few years have been a blur of trying things. Morning routines, habit trackers, productivity systems. You've tried waking up at 5, meditating, cold showers, gratitude lists. Some things stick for a week, some for a month, some fall away after a day. But something has shifted. You are not as lost as you were at 16. You feel slightly more in control. That small improvement feels enormous from inside your skin. You look back at your old anxiety like at a different person. I've grown, you think. I've figured out at least something. The idea of being a guide returns, but now it feels more justified. You're not just repeating other people's wisdom. You have your own experience. You have evidence. You sit there and outline your method. It's really just a combination of things you picked up from books and videos, rearranged in a sequence that worked for you. Step 1, awareness. Step 2, clarity. Step 3, aligned action. The words sound big, sleek, like the titles of courses you've seen online. You feel a thrill as you type them. This could be real. This could be your thing. You start posting threads on social media, sharing tips. This is how I turned my life around in 90 days. 3 habits that changed everything. The posts aren't lies exactly. You did feel change, but they're simplified, smooth, polished. You leave out the messy relapses, the nights you cried, the mornings you snoozed the alarm 3 times. Your story becomes a clean arc, struggling, finding a method, rising above. People respond. A stranger comments, "This helped a lot, thank you." Another writes, "Do you have a course?" That question hits you like electricity. You screenshot it, stare at it, heart racing. A course. The word has been floating in your mind for years, and now somebody else is saying it first. Your body responds before your ethics can catch up. A rush of excitement, accomplishment, a sense of destiny. Maybe it's time, you think. I can't be that far behind those people I've been watching. Everyone starts somewhere. You don't ask yourself yet if you are ready to teach others how to live. You only ask if you are ready to be seen as someone who does. At night, you lie awake thinking about modules and lesson titles. Reprogram your mind. Design your best self. The phrases feel too big in your mouth, but they taste good. You don't know that with every step into this new role, the distance between your actual growth and your advertised certainty will quietly widen. You close your eyes, imagining an audience. Not just a classroom or a small group chat, but hundreds of people with headphones in, listening to your voice for guidance. The picture calms you and scares you at once. You decide that fear is just stepping out of your comfort zone, a quote you've heard 100 times. You fall asleep telling yourself you are stepping into your purpose, not seeing that you are also stepping onto thin ice. You are 25, staring at your own face in a ring light. The room is small, the background carefully cleared of clutter. You've spent an hour choosing an outfit that says relatable yet successful. Your hair sits just right, your skin edited smooth in your mind before any filter touches it. You hit record. Hey, it's me, you say, voice bright and polished. Today I want to share the 3 mindset shifts that changed my life. The script is half memorized, half improvised inside a narrow frame. You know exactly when to smile, where to pause, how to tilt your head to seem sincere. You also know, somewhere deeper, that you're performing a role more than you're describing reality. Your social media has transformed into a polished grid. Your bio calls you a mindset mentor and life design coach. You worked hard on those words. They sound official enough to be respected and vague enough not to be easily questioned. You have a link in your bio now, leading to a simple sales page with your first course. Rebuild your life in 21 days. You remember the night you wrote that title. You believed, or needed to believe, that it wasn't too much. You told yourself, it's not a guarantee, it's a framework. Still, the promise hangs heavy over your content. Every story you post, every caption you write pushes this idea. Your method can fix people. The pressure to embody that claim presses into your chest like a stone. Sales trickle in. You see the notifications on your phone. You've got a new order. Each one sends a jolt through you. Money, proof, validation. You screenshot the first batch of testimonials. I feel so motivated. This is exactly what I needed. You repost them, heart swelling. You want to believe this is it, that you are finally who you wanted to be. But on the days when your anxiety spikes, when you wake up with your heart racing and no clear reason, you still open your camera and talk about staying in alignment. You call your panic resistance. You turn your doubt into content. It's easier than admitting to yourself that you don't always live what you preach. In private, your relationships strain. A friend hints that you're always on, never fully present. You brush it off. You tell yourself this is the price of building something meaningful. Your work becomes your identity, your brand your mirror. You check your follower count more often than you check in with your own body. When you lie in bed at night, phone screen inches from your face, you scroll through comments. People ask things you don't know how to answer. Will this cure my depression? Is it normal that your method is not working for me? Your fingers hover over the keyboard. You type safe phrases. Everyone's journey is different. Trust the process. The words look hollow and shiny, like plastic. You fall asleep with a quiet unease humming under your ribs. You are becoming what you watched for years, the confident face on the screen. But behind your own screen, your hands are shaking. You are 27, sitting in front of a dashboard full of numbers. Revenue charts climb. Email list subscribers tick upward. You've just finished a live webinar where hundreds of tiny circles with initials filled the attendee list. You spoke for an hour about unlocking your potential. Voice smooth, slides minimal, call to action sharp. When you made the pitch for your new high-ticket program, you felt your throat tighten, but the script took over. Orders came in while you were still talking. Your phone buzzed on the desk beside your laptop. Each vibration, a hit of adrenaline. When you ended the call, you smiled into the camera, closed your laptop, and only then allowed yourself to exhale. Your hands were damp. Your stomach had been clenched the entire time. You hadn't noticed. Online, your persona glows. You post launch numbers, carefully framed as gratitude. You share screenshots of client wins, the best angles of their words. In DMs, people call you an inspiration, a light. You reply with heart emojis and affirmations. Your fingers moving on autopilot. You've built a world where you are the one who knows, the one who guides, the one who is further along. In your apartment, dishes pile in the sink. Your sleep is fractured. You wake at 3 in the morning, mind racing through payment plans, content ideas, and a creeping fear that someone will ask you a question you can't hide from. The contrast between your public wisdom and your private mess grows sharper. You start avoiding the mirror, except when you need to record. Negative feedback appears slowly, then more often. Someone emails a long message about how your course felt superficial. Someone else writes a comment. This advice is just recycled self-help, nothing new. You delete a few, answer some with polite phrases about sorry, it didn't resonate. But one day, you receive a message from a client who is genuinely struggling. They talk about feeling worse after your program because they blame themselves for not changing. You stare at the words, a sick feeling blooming in your chest. This is not a troll, not someone looking for drama. This is a human being who put hope and money into your method and walked away, carrying more shame. You reply with care, offer a refund, recommend professional help. You do what you can, but the unease lingers long after you close the chat. The launch numbers still look good. Your peers congratulate you. You're killing it, they say. You collaborate with other mentors, appearing on live streams where you both talk about impact and service. Inside, a small voice whispers, if this is service, why does it feel like selling air? Why do you feel like a balloon full of borrowed phrases, ready to pop the second someone pokes too hard? On camera, you tell people that authenticity is the key. Off camera, you build scarcity timers and exit intent pop-ups. You rationalize. Everyone does it. This is how online business works. But at night, when the apartment is silent, your own slogans echo back at you and sound like lies. You lie awake, counting the people who bought from you and didn't get what they imagined. It's impossible to know the number. That's what makes it worse. Your brand shines brighter than ever. Your insides dim. You are 29, staring at a comment you can't unsee. It's under one of your most popular videos. The thumbnail shows your smiling face next to big text. This will change everything. The comment is long, measured, not cruel, but cutting in its honesty. The person writes how your content made them chase an ideal self they could never reach, how your certainty feels like a performance, how they think you're selling hope you don't really own. You read it once, twice, 3 times. Your first instinct is defense. You feel your body tense, your jaw clench. Your fingers fly to craft a response that explains, that saves your image. But then something in you pauses. The words they used echo the words you've whispered to yourself in the shower, in the dark, in the moments after closing your laptop. The gap you've been refusing to look at is now written in public, under your own face. In the same week, you get more refund requests than ever before. Some are polite, some angry, some just exhausted. It didn't work for me. I thought this would be deeper. I need my money back. Each one stings, not just financially, but as proof that your polished promise has cracks. You process the refunds, watch your numbers dip, feel a mix of shame and relief. At the same time, your own mental health hits a wall. Anxiety no longer hides behind productivity. It floods your days. You wake with a racing heart, fight through brain fog to record a mindset tip, then collapse on the couch afterward, empty. Depression creeps in quietly. The things you once called low vibration now have medical names in articles you read late at night. Your brand does not allow for this. You have built a persona who has bad days but never truly falls apart, who always turns struggles into lessons by the next story slide. Now, your struggles have no tidy arc. They are just raw, inconvenient, unmarketable. You try to talk about it carefully, sprinkling hints into your content. I've been going through a lot, but it's all part of the journey. Even here, you are editing. You cannot bring yourself to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. I am not qualified to be the person you think I am. The words stick in your throat, heavy and hot. In the silence between posts, your thoughts grow louder. You remember that kid on the stage, that teenager under the covers with a phone, that young adult in the cafe designing a method from half-digested advice. You see the through line clearly now, the constant reaching for a role where you are above your own confusion, safely on a pedestal. The screen that once protected you now feels like glass closing in. Your image stares back at you from thumbnails, perfectly lit, always sure. You feel like you're living with a twin who never doubts, and the friction between you is becoming unbearable. For the first time, you seriously consider stopping. Not a break for self-care that you can spin as content later, but an actual pause without end date. The thought terrifies you. Who are you if you're not the person people come to for answers? What remains when you are not selling a version of yourself? The fear doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means you've tied your identity to something that was never stable. The crack in the screen is wide enough now that you can see through it. What's on the other side is unclear, but at least it's real. You are 30, finger hovering over the post button. But this time the screen is blank. No affirmation, no hook, no call to action. Just the quiet option, log out. You take a breath that feels too big for your chest and close the app instead. Your phone suddenly becomes a simple object again, not a stage. The first day offline feels like a withdrawal. Your hand reaches for your phone every few minutes, craving the tiny hits of validation, the red dots, the new comments. Each time you stop yourself, you feel a small, sharp emptiness. You walk around your apartment in a daze, noticing the silence of your own life without the overlay of content. You see the stacks of self-help books lining your shelves, many of them half-read, filled with sticky notes marking quotes you used in posts. You pick one up and realize you never really sat with the ideas for yourself. They were raw material, fuel for your next insight. Most of your own healing has been curated, sped up, turned into something consumable. Days pass, and your mind swings between relief and panic. Relief, no more pretending, no more merchandised wisdom. Panic, your income drops, your messages sit unanswered, your relevance, that fragile currency, bleeds away. You imagine your followers turning to someone else, another confident face ready to tell them how to live. The thought hurts more than you want to admit. Without the constant pressure to perform, your real questions surface. Late at night, you sit on the floor with a notebook, but this time you don't outline modules. You write confessions. I don't know how to live without being impressive. I am tired of being in control. I don't trust myself when there's no audience watching. The words feel heavier than any course you've created. You reach out to a therapist, something you've recommended to others countless times, but never fully committed to yourself. In the first session, you are tempted to speak in polished paragraphs, to present your story as a neat arc. The therapist waits. Silence stretches. For the first time in a long time, you let your sentences be messy, incomplete. It feels like tearing off a costume. Slowly, you begin to notice how your body reacts differently when you're not gearing every experience toward a future caption. Walking outside, you feel the air on your skin without thinking. This could be a metaphor about slowing down. Eating a meal, you taste it without planning a story about nourishing your body and soul. Life becomes less content and more life. You realize how many moments you've missed by turning them into lessons too quickly. How often you denied yourself the full depth of feelings because you needed them to be inspiring, not just human. The grief that rises is sharp. You mourn the years spent performing growth instead of actually living it. In that grief, a quiet intention forms. If you ever speak publicly again, it will not be from a place of knowing better than others. It will be as someone in the middle of their own unfinished process. Someone who is willing to say, "I don't know" out loud, and let that be enough for a sentence. You are 32, sitting at a different desk now. No ring light, no carefully arranged backdrop. Just a small lamp, a plant that keeps refusing to die, and a laptop with fewer social apps installed. Your work has changed. You offer smaller, more concrete services now, things you are actually trained in, things that do not require you to be a savior. When you write, the language is different. You avoid promises that sound like magic. You don't say, "This will change your life." You say, "This might help with one piece of it." Your words feel less glamorous, but more honest. You leave room for complexity, for people needing more than you can give, for professionals beyond you. Some days, you feel the old pull. You see others online doing what you used to do, big claims, dramatic testimonials, polished identities, and a part of you aches. They grow faster, earn more, glow in the spotlight you once craved. Your ego twists, whispering that you are smaller now, less special. You sit with the discomfort rather than trying to outbrand it. You reconnect with friends who knew you before the persona. Conversations are slower, less about optimizing, and more about how things actually feel. You are surprised by how hard it is to answer simple questions when there's no clear narrative. "How are you?" doesn't have a neat arc attached anymore. Sometimes you say, "I don't know yet," and let the answer hang. Your relationship to learning changes too. You still read, still listen to smart people, but you notice when your brain tries to jump straight to, "How can I package this?" You gently bring it back. Not everything has to become a lesson for others. Some things are allowed to go straight from the page to your heart and stay there. One day, you open your old social account again, not to relaunch, but to see. The grid of your former life stares back at you. The smiles, the quotes, the confidence. Instead of shame, you feel a mix of tenderness and sadness. You see the scared person underneath, doing the only thing they knew to survive, performing certainty. You decide to post something. No hook, no aesthetic, just a simple text over a plain background. You write about stepping away, about the weight of pretending to have answers, about the decision to stop selling transformation you hadn't lived. You don't position it as a lesson learned. You just tell the truth. The response is smaller than your old metrics, but different in tone. A few people unfollow quietly. Some leave simple hearts. A handful write long messages, sharing how they have felt the same pressure, the same split between their image and their reality. You read them slowly, letting each one be about them, not about your brand. You close the app without checking the follower count. Outside, the day is ordinary, sky the same color it has always been. You make tea, feel the warmth in your hands, and realize that what you sell or don't sell will never be as important as this small, solid moment of being exactly who you are, with no one watching. You are no longer a guru. You are just a human being who once built an altar to certainty and then climbed down from it. The path ahead is less clear, but it is finally yours to walk.